That's a lot of dust. Hi, I'm Robert, and welcome to another Rhino Designs video. Building a project today, and I apologize on the front end because I completely did not film the first half of this project, or this video. Didn't anticipate it was going to be a thing, but here we go. And we will be building the second cabinet there. So here I'm just cutting down some flat sheet goods to build the carcass out of, and having a whole lot of difficulty with my Ryobi saw. Only one battery for this thing, and it runs out pretty quick. I wouldn't recommend getting this thing. So here I'm using the track saw to cut down the sides and bottom sheets of the carcass that is going to make up this cabinet. Getting these cut to, I believe, the height, and then cutting it to width here. And I really don't mind using the track saw. I actually prefer it over my table saw, especially for larger sheet goods like this. But the Ryobi track saw can just be problematic. Spend a little bit more money, get yourself a better quality one. The little rubber strip on this one is not in good condition either, so it's not the best quality. So at this point, I've already cut down all of my drawer sides, and that's what I'm putting pocket holes in. I'm just going to do pocket hole joinery on this entire thing. It's all it requires. It's cabinets. It's what pocket holes were made for anyways. So I'm putting in pocket holes for all of the drawer sides, and then I'll go in and route them, sand them, and finish them off. That way they can be assembled and installed.
Zone of danger. This is where you lose your fingers if you're not careful.
So I put that little fence together. That way I wouldn't lose track of where this cutter was, the cutter head, because I was completely covering it with the material that I was routing. So just a smart idea if you ever do this and you don't have a fence, you just have a simple router table like this. Here I'm rounding over the edges of the tops of the drawer sides. So this is just an aesthetic choice and a function choice. That way, there's no sharp corners as you're using the furniture, and you don't have to worry about that. Sanding down everything and going to assembly. So these are 3/4 inch drawer sides and 1/2 inch drawer bottoms, with a 1/2 inch space on beneath the drawer, just to make up that material that's supporting the drawer bottom there. It's pretty sturdy, probably overbuilt.
All right, let me show you around here. So when assembling this thing, I want to select the front side because that's going to have the face of the drawer on it. I want to make sure it's flush, or the mounting the mounting surface is at least flush or protruding a little bit from the sides. So this is flush, and then make sure everything slots in square. And I made this a little bit smaller, so the back, what's going to be the back of the drawer, has a little bit of a indentation on the back, but that's fine. It gives me room to make a mistake and still successfully assemble this. So there's a drawer.
Oh, and believe me, mistakes were made making this built-in. But here I'm just assembling, continuing to assemble these drawers. If there's 3 of them that's going into this side, this side of the built-in, a flat file drawer, and then 2 deeper ones of like 5-inch and 10-inch deep drawers. That's what I'm putting together now.
There we go. Top, middle, bottom. Now to get them installed. Alright. So where it stands, we got 6 flat file drawers that are 3 inches tall total. And then 3 just conventional drawers. The top one is again 3 inches tall total, and then the bottom 2 are a little bit deeper. I think the bottom one's 11 inches total. Drawer fronts obviously aren't on yet, but this is where it stands. These are pretty large. They're capable of holding a 20 by 36 sheet, I believe. A little bit bigger than that.
24 by 36.
Soft close. Pretty good. And where the stool is, I mean, that's basically going to be the seating area. We're putting a beechwood top on this across the entire way. And then in the future, there's going to be 2 shelving units on either side, and then connected by some upper cabinets with another shelf and a top-down, a mount for a top-down camera rig. She'll be great for Hannah. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. We'll kind of finish it up.
So this is some poplar that I'm cutting down. The initial thought was that this entire built-in was going to be painted, and so I am building it that way and using materials with that in mind. At the last minute, Hannah decided that she was not going to paint the drawer fronts because she actually liked the look of this raw poplar, which, I mean, honestly surprised me, but it doesn't look bad. You'll see at the end. So the poplar is pretty easy to cut, easy to manage. I'm cutting it to the width of the drawers here, and I'm going to be cutting down all of the drawer fronts. I initially went with the track saw, as you see here, and you're going to see that this thing gave me so many problems. And again, like, there's some limitations to this track saw, but track saws in general, and I ended up going over to my table saw. Now you'll see that I don't have a riving knife on the table saw or a blade guard, and this is an old contractor saw, and honestly the saw scares me. There's no safety features built into it, and it gets the job done. It's fine, but I just have to be extra mindful and careful while using it. Now you'll see where we're at this point. That top is a butcher block from Country Moldings. You can look them up, countrymoldings.com. Here Hannah is getting spacing together, having a little bit of difficulty with that. Dogs being a friend. And here we're attaching the drawer fronts. So I'm drilling pilot holes, and then driving in some screws to the back of that. 3 screws for each drawer. And here we are regretting our decision on design, because what I realized was the hardware that we picked out for the drawer pulls would interfere. Well, the drawer bottoms interfered with the placement, the proper placement of this hardware. So I had to pull off the drawer fronts and route in and countersink in these bolt holes on every single drawer, and then screw them back in. Luckily, the placement didn't get messed up on the drawer fronts, and everything kind of turned out well. So this is the first of 2 videos. The next video will be building and installing the top shelving for this. It all came together nicely.